So welcome to Wasson Woodworking. In today's episode I'm going to be using my new blasting cabinet to prepare a couple pieces of really metal foot pegs, and I'm going to be powder coating them yellow. But to start with, I just purchased this 40-pound sandblasting cabinet from Harbor Freight, and most of it went to pretty well, I'll admit. And anyway, I filled it up with the Central Pneumatics Glass Bead 80 Grit blast media, and let me tell you, this stuff prepares the metal so well. I was just blown away at how quickly it cleans things up, never having one of these before. So now I'm going to work on that just a little bit. Oh, I will say, the bulb in here, it broke the very first time I tried using it. I mean, I don't know if it actually broke, but it is not working. So that's your typical Harbor Freight deal, right? So anyway, it wasn't very bright anyway, so I'm going to rip it out and put something much brighter in there so I can see. But for now, I can just use a flashlight in there. It does a good job. And so I'm going to blast that, and then I'm going to figure out how to do the powder coating, and then we're going to bake it and see how this works.
Cleaning.
So I was using a new GoPro, and unfortunately it was clamped to the drill press, and every time I hit the cabinet it would make a horrible noise. So because of that, I'm doing this voiceover. So what I've done here is I've got one glove on, and I have a bottle of acetone. I'm going to use the acetone to make sure I clean the metal thoroughly, to get rid of all fingerprints or anything else that could adversely affect the adhesion of the powder onto the base metal. So I just, in this case, rub some on a paper towel, although it would probably be better to do onto a cloth, and vigorously clean everything off. Now we've rotated over to showing the little bracket that I've used that's going to hold it on the tray in the oven. You got to do something so that it doesn't end up melting onto the tray in the oven.
The gun.
So here I am with my new Eastwood dual voltage gun. I bought this because people had recommended it to me that it would work better than the Harbor Freight. Not knowing any better, I purchased it and it seems to work fine. And I'm putting in the quick disconnect fitting right now. This thing runs around 8 psi of air. So the base unit itself has a switch for the different voltage, and it also has a bunch of other lines coming off it. Of course, you have the plug that goes in the wall, but then you also have the one that I'm showing you here that you press when you're spraying on the powder that charges the system itself. And then, of course, in order to make that charge stick, there's another cable that I'm undoing right now that is used to clip onto the workpiece that gives it its charge.
Applying the powder.
Oh, we're still taping. So let me bring you up to speed. Everything's outside. It's in the oven. It's cooking. I believe it's going well. It's starting to gloss over in spots. In about 5 more minutes, I'll check on it, and then I'll let it sit at 20 for, I think, 400 degrees for 20 minutes.
The oven.
So today I went by BrandsMart and I got an Oster oven, the largest toaster oven I could find. I'm going to take this apart. Now, you don't want to use this to eat out of. That's why I bought one separate. Don't want to use the Weiss oven inside because that's not going to go over well either. So there it is. Toaster oven's ready to go. It's getting a little dark out here, but I have just put the parts in, and now they're going to cook. So let's take a look and see. Okay, they're now done, but something has happened and the color has drastically changed from a yellow to like a beige color. So I don't know if I overcooked it. At one point I turned up to 460. I probably shouldn't have done that. Maybe next time I should run it at 425. But that's part of the process of learning. So Anyway, they look very good though, so we'll see what happens when they cool off completely.
The results.
So here they are. I don't know if you can see that well or not, but they have a very nice finish to them. I could probably put it on a little bit thicker. I think I'll do that next time. It's hard to gauge on your first time that you've done it. And the stands I used worked out really well, but it turned this beigeish color. Not a horrible thing, it's just not quite the color that I wanted. I wanted it to be very yellow. So next I'm going to turn the temperature down a little bit. Instead of doing 450, I think I turned it to 460 at one point. I'm going to do like 425 and see if it'll melt out and retain the color. Because maybe I burned it, or maybe it's just part of the process. So anyway, tomorrow I'm going to use these as foot pegs, and we'll see what kind of condition they come back in when they're finished, see how they deal with some Georgia clay being ground into them with boots, and then I'll probably bring them back and powder coat over them, or blast them, clean them back up again, do yellow again, and cook them again, and see if I can get it to stay that hot, bright yellow that I'm actually after. So anyway, very excited about this though. I do like the process. So I just got to come with more excuses to use this.
Final thoughts.
So it's a couple days later, and I use these foot pegs. Got a lot of dirt on my boots when grinding them in, and they still look like they did when they first came out of the oven. So besides the color issue that I'll resolve and follow up in another video, I'm really excited about how this worked, and I can't wait to blast some more items. So if you like this video, please subscribe below if you haven't already. Put your comments below if you have any questions about the products. And while you're at it, click on some of these videos on the side and see what else I have to offer on these on this channel. Anyway, I'll see you next time on Wassel Woodworking.